Hello, this is Shira, and this is the November 2020 astrological forecast for the mutable signs of Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And this will also include the Taurus Halloween full moon. First off, we have Gemini or Gemini rising. You have the Capricorn stellium in your natal or solar 8th house. And the 8th house is all about depth, transformation. And so with Saturn and Pluto there over the last couple years, you may have felt blocked. But since Jupiter has been in your 8th house over this last year, you may have felt like you can open up, relate, talk about and discuss your deepest feelings, and there's wonderful connections with those all around you on a very deep level. And on a more practical level, Gemini, this is a great time to look into loans. Now that Jupiter is there, you may have let go of a loan or a mortgage. You might be purchasing property that later will be very valuable to you. Okay, great time to go within, do some psychology, and possibly look into your belief systems. This is the 8th house. Okay, and you have transiting Venus in your natal 5th house. And the 5th house is one of expression. It's one of speculative ventures. And so you will feel the need to creatively express yourself. Maybe there's a hobby you wanted to pursue. It's a great time for recreation, sport, fun, and these issues up until the 22nd of November will be a highlight for you. Great time to maybe take that trip or those trips that you've always wanted. Gemini, great time also for children or pregnancies, or you may have some good news connected with children. So good 5th house connections. Now the full moon, Gemini, will be in your 12th house, and the 12th house rules secrets, it rules hidden enemies, and it also rules the past and medicine. And these areas will be very important to you. However, there is a connection with Uranus, and Uranus is the unexpected. So you may hear of some unexpected secrets or information that could prove beneficial to you. Also, there may be some medical procedures you need to have that are going to be important with that full moon. Someone unexpectedly could show up from your past. Okay, and with the 6th house axis and the Scorpio sun and on the 11th Mercury, and on the 22nd Venus in your 6th house, physically you may feel great. You may want to get out more. You may feel with the 6th house you've got some job offers. You might be thinking of diet, exercise. However, with that 12th house axis with the full moon, you must kind of take it easy, take time for rest and relaxation because you don't want to over stress yourself. Now, you have the Aries Mars in your natal 11th house. And Mars is great there. And Mars is wonderful with connecting with friends and acquaintances in the house of Aquarius. However, there is a caution. Mars is still retrograde. So you will have to be careful of conflicts with friends or acquaintances. However, it's a great time for shared goals and gatherings with friends. Also a great time for speculation as well. Internet or dealings on the internet, social media. So all 11th house interests should prove beneficial for you, Gemini, in November. Now you have Neptune in Pisces at the top of your chart, Gemini. That's great for a possible career or new career, secondary career in the psychic arts or expressing your creativity. Maybe there's a career in art or music that you wanted to pursue, and now you may get some eminence or recognition for that career. And pay attention to your dreams because they may prove to be very beneficial to you as well. So you will be discovering a lot connected with clairvoyance, mediumship, spirituality, and creativity in the highest in the month of November, Gemini. And now we move on to the sign of Virgo. In Virgo, you have the Capricorn stellium in your 5th house of Jupiter and Pluto, Saturn. So over the last few years or two and a half years, Virgo, with Saturn in your 5th, you may have felt blocked. You may feel like you've wanted to express yourself to those closest to you, or if you're a single Virgo, maybe the dating scene hasn't been so great and you feel like you haven't found the one or haven't found someone who's had that connection with you. However, over the last year, the exception is Jupiter has probably brought to you quite a bit of suitors if you're single, and for you Virgos in a relationship, you probably feel that you can have some fun, and overall, Virgo, you feel like you've wanted to get involved with sport and recreation. There may be some connections with children, pregnancies, expanding your family, or some good news connected with children of some sort. Okay, and moving along, Virgo, you have the full moon in Taurus this month in your 9th house, and it is the 9th and 3rd house axis. Now, the 9th house rules financial, educational institutions, so there may be some issue regarding a bank or loans, contracts, or some issues with education, and it also rules research, long distance travel, or issues connected with long distance travel. So be very careful of those issues this month, Virgo. And with the third house axis and the sun, and then on the 11th, Mercury, and then on the 22nd, Venus in your third house, this is a time you may want to get out and about locally, maybe get to know some of your neighbors, some people closer to you. You may have a lot to say and communicate. Great time for repairs on a vehicle. And you may be doing some writing this month, Virgo, especially with Mercury there on the 11th onward. Okay, Venus there, you might find a suitable relationship or probable relationship for you locally. From especially the 22nd onward. Now, you also, until the 22nd, have Venus in Libra in your second house. Great time for opening up a savings account or doing some savings and investing, or you may have some good returns on some of your investments in the month of November, Virgo. So moving along, you have Mars, as of yet, still retrograde in your 8th house. So there may be some concerns with 8th house matters, such as wills, trusts, some large investments. So keep an eye out for these concerns. You may have felt blocked recently with the retrograde Mars in opening up and expressing yourself to others, or you may feel like maybe they don't want to hear what you have to say, and so you've gotten into conflicts with people because you just want to express your deepest feelings. However, Mars is in its own sign, so keep looking within. Keep finding, Virgo, avenues of expression and expressing or doing some soul searching regarding your belief systems. This will prove very rewarding for you in November. And then we have Neptune in your house of relationships. So Virgo, you may find that as of late, your partner or partnerships, relationships have been a bit confusing for you or unclear, or maybe you feel a partner is deceptive, or you may feel like some of your business partnerships have been deceptive or unclear. If you are signing any contracts coming up in November, be very clear about what you want. My advice is to get legal advice. However, Neptune in its own is still very productive in the 7th house. It will bring to you some sensitivity with regards to all of your communications, and trust your psychic hunches of those connected with business and those close to you, because you may be right on. Next, we will move to the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, and Sagittarius, you have the Capricorn stellium in your 2nd house. So for you, especially with Jupiter there accentuated this year, you will find in November you are bringing in quite a lot of income, or you will notice a bonus with your work, in your income, or also for you as well, Sagittarius, new forms of income. Okay, however, do be careful of spending because of the square to Venus this month. However, for you as well, Sagittarius, it's a great time for investing. Now, you do have Venus in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, dreams. So you will find this month with Venus there that connections with your friends will be a little bit more at ease, a little bit more pleasant, more peaceful, and you will enjoy some social interactions with friends this month. That's a very positive and also focused on some of your long cherished dreams and goals. So with Venus there, this kind of is a wonderful soothing influence for everything that you have wanted to do with your friends and goals. Okay? Now you do have Sagittarius, you do have Neptune in your natal or solar 4th house. So you will have to be careful with deception connected with family members or those closest to you that you think of family. Maybe there are some issues in communication where maybe discussions aren't very clear. However, because of the Pisces Scorpio influence in November, you will find a little easier time of communication with your family. And also, just be careful, however, Sagittarius, of some speculative investments for you, or there may be some concerns or repairs connected with a house. And that may include concern with water. So just be watchful of that Neptunian influence in your 3rd house, and be clear with your communication with others too with Neptune there. Mars in your 5th house, great time to connect with others for fun and lighthearted adventures. And for you, you are going to be very active with children. There may be good news for you with pregnancy. However, Mars is still retrograde, so the 5th house areas could also bring some blocks to some degree. So because Mars is in its own sign, it's still a positive influence with your 5th house. But there may be concerns with maybe spending too much money for fun, or also minor concerns with youth or pregnancy, expanding your family. And however, you may feel like you also want to express yourself regarding a hobby or creative venture, and you may feel a little blocked. But again, with Aries in your 5th, it's still a wonderful time to express those hobbies and pursuits creatively. All right, and moving on, we are looking at Pisces rising. Now, Pisces, you have Neptune in your 1st house, and this is a little bit confusing. You may feel a little insecure right now, or have since Neptune has been placed there. However, Neptune is at its best in its own of Pisces. So even though you may express yourself unclearly, some people around you may see changes within you or not sure about how you feel. This is a time, Pisces, to really express your sensitivity and your spirituality, you may suddenly have an interest in also dreams or dream interpretation, and you as well could have some latent psychic ability. And Pisces is very creative. So this is a time you may want to write, maybe write some poetry. You may want to write music or perform music or do anything that makes you feel very moved and compassionate. Very wonderful influence with Pisces in your first house, Pisces rising. Now you have the Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn stellium in your 11th house. And for you, Pisces rising, this is a wonderful time to get together with friends, especially with Jupiter's influence there over the last year. You may feel finally you're really having a good time with your friends. November, because of the sextile to the Scorpio sun, you and your friends could be discussing some of your goals or aspirations and getting together with some of those goals, or hobbies. Great time to really look into some creative hobbies and speculative ventures, especially with that 11th house influence. Look into the law of attraction and focusing on your greatest aspirations and aims, because in November they very well likely could come true. Now you have Venus in your 8th house, and again, 8th house is a very deep house psychologically, and so with the 8th house connection there with Venus, you may have some interesting suitors come into your life, because physically and emotionally Venus in the sign of Libra in your 8th house can be very deep. Wonderful for opening up and expressing your deepest desires and feelings. Also, good time for you, Pisces rising, to look into some savings or investing. You may be doing some serious soul searching, and the month of November will be wonderful for that. Now, you have the full moon, Pisces, in your natal 3rd house, and that's the 3rd, 9th house axis. And for you, Pisces, with that 3rd house full moon, you will have to be careful with regards to any vehicle repairs or driving or communications with those in your neighborhood or your vicinity. Don't try to get in any scuffles with anybody as such. Just take the 9th house energy with Scorpio sun there as a hint to try to shine a light on all relations in a positive light with everyone around you, especially since on the 11th Mercury will be going into the sign of Scorpio with the sun, and then at the end of the month on the 22nd Venus will go into Scorpio. So education or research will become very important to you, possibly looking into some serious business negotiations. However, again, you must heed the 3rd house warning with people and communications. If you do, November will prove to be a very fortunate month for you as well, Pisces. All in all, mutable signs, November is going to be an intense but a very lovely and eventful, wonderful time.
If you'd like to get in touch with me, my contact information is down below. I give one-on-one readings and written reports. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification. Until next time, many, many blessings.